Today we shall discuss about the water treatment or water chemistry. Here I will give the introduction to the chapter. Water is the most wonderful and precious gift of the nature to all the living beings on the earth. It is the most abundant and useful compound on the earth's surface. Here, as you already know, 72% of the earth's surface is covered by the water. In that 72%, the 97.2% is locked in oceans, 2.1% is in the form of ice and glaciers. Only we are using 0.6% of potable or fresh water, and remaining 0.1% is in brine wells and salty water. As you already know since your lower classes how the water is formed in the nature, here the water gets evaporated continuously from oceans, rivers, lakes, goes into the atmosphere. It will form the cloud and it comes to the earth's surface in the form of rain. During the course of or during its downward journey, the water, it absorbs many of the impurities such as gases, dust, and other impurities present in the atmosphere. After reaching to the earth's surface, it flows as stream and rivers. The flowing of the river water, it picks up many mineral salts, silt and clay from land, and also effluent which are discharged by industries and domestic, social and public establishment. It brings many of the impurities. Ultimately it will join to the ocean or sea. Here, next we shall discuss about the sources of water. What are the sources of surface water and underground water? The main sources of the surface water are rainwater, river water, lake water, sea water. These are the main sources of surface water. Next one is the sources of underground water. The sources of underground water are springs and wells are the sources of underground water. Next, we shall discuss about the impurities which are present in the water. The whatever the water we are using, that is not the pure water, or that is not pure one. It contains many of the impurities. The main impurities which are present in the water are, first one is the dissolved gases. The gases which are present in the water are carbon dioxide and oxygen, which are in dissolved form, which are present in the water. And other gases which are present in the water are ammonia and sulfur. Due to the presence of ammonia and sulfur, due to the presence of hydrogen sulfide, or it will form the hydrogens, due to the presence of hydrogen sulfide gas, in the formation of hydrogen sulfide gas in the water, it gives or it imparts foul smell or bad smell to the water. Next, impurities which are present in the water are dissolved solids or dissolved salts which are present in the water. The dissolved salts or salts which are present in the water are salts of calcium, magnesium, sodium, which are in soluble form present in the water. And other salts which are present in the water are oxides of manganese, iron, lead, and arsenic are also present in the water. These are the dissolved salts which are present in the water. Next one is the suspended impurities. There are two types of suspended impurities which are present in the water are, one is inorganic suspended impurity. The inorganic suspended impurities which are present in the water are clay, silica, oxides of iron and manganese, are the inorganic suspended impurities present in the water. And organic suspended impurities present in the water are wood pieces, disintegrated parts of dead animals, leaf, fishes, bacteria, algae, protozoa are the organic suspended impurities which are present in the water. These suspended impurities impart or accuse turbidity and color to the water. Next, impurities which are present in the water are microscopic matter or microorganisms. Many pathogenic bacteria and other microorganisms which are present in the water. These bacteria causes waterborne diseases. These the microscopic matter or bacteria causes the waterborne diseases. Next one is next topic we shall discuss about is boiler feed water. Whatever the boilers we are using, the main body of the boiler material which is present, which is made up, the boiler is made up of iron metal. Here first we shall discuss about the definition of the boiler feed water. What is meant by boiler feed water? Boiler feed water, the water which is used to generate the steam is called as boiler feed water. The whatever water we are using in order to generate the steam, that must not contain any impurities, that must be free from impurities. If it contain impurities, it will cause trouble to the boiler. Whatever the water using to generate the steam in the boiler, that must be completely free from impurities. Okay, here if it contain any impurities, for example, as you already know, the whatever the impurities which are present in the water, if those impurities are present in the water during the conversion of the steam, if it contain any impurities, it causes trouble to the boiler. Have understood? Here the definition of the boiler feed water is that it is the water used to generate the steam is called as boiler feed water. The whatever the steam which is generated by the boiler feed water or by the boiler which is used for sterilization, distillation, space heating, power production and medical treatments, etc. These are the advantages of the boiler feed water. Next one is boiler troubles. As I already said, the boiler water, if it contain impurities, it causes trouble to the boiler. What are the boiler troubles? Main one, first one is scale and sludge formation. Second one is boiler trouble. One more is there, boiler corrosion. Second one is boiler corrosion. One more is there, that is priming and foaming. That is not there for your syllabus. Here, what is first we shall discuss about the scale and sludge formation. During the production of this steam, water is heated continuously under high pressure and temperature. When you heat the water at high temperature and pressure, the concentration of the dissolved salts which are present in the water increases. When the salts concentration, when it reaches to saturation level, they get precipitated. Okay, here when you heat the boiler feed water in order to generate the steam continuously at high temperature and pressure, the concentration of the dissolved salts which are present in the water increases, and when it reaches to saturation level, the salts, so salt concentration, it will reaches to, or they gets precipitated. Whatever the precipitate which is formed in the boiler feed water, if it is hard deposit, which is coated to the walls of the boiler or which is coated inside surface of the boiler, is called as scale. What is meant by scale? The precipitate which is formed is hard deposit which is coated the walls of the boiler or which is coated inside surface of the boiler, is called as scale. The removal of the scale is very difficult. Next one is sludge. What is meant by sludge? whatever the precipitate which is formed in the boiler feed water, if it is loose, non-adherent and suspended. Got it? Here, whatever the precipitate which is formed in the boiler feed water, if it is loose, non-adherent, sticky and suspended, floating, is called as sludge. Have understood the definition of scale and sludge? Here the scale is, the definition of the scale is the precipitate which is formed in the boiler feed water if it is hard deposit coated on the surface or inside walls of the boiler is called as scale. What is meant by sludge? Sludge is the precipitate which is formed inside the boiler feed water if it is loose, non-adherent or sticky and suspended precipitate is called as sludge. Next we shall discuss about the causes for scale formation. The main causes for scale formation are the salts which are caused for scale formation are calcium sulfate, calcium bicarbonate, magnesium chloride and silica. These are the main salts which are caused for scale formation. Next one is the disadvantages of the scale formation. What are the main disadvantages of the scale formation? Number one, wastage of the fuel. Here the scale is the bad conductor of heat. When you supply the heat in order to convert the steam, here the some amount of heat or energy is lost due to the formation of the scale on the surface of the boiler. Here some amount of the heat is lost, energy is lost in order to convert the steam. That's why wastage of the fuel takes place due to the formation of the scale. That is the main disadvantage of the scale formation. Next one is danger of explosion. This is the second disadvantage of the scale formation. Here when you heat the water in order to convert the steam, when you supply the water, the directly water cannot be heated due to the formation of the scale on the surface of the water. First, the metallic surface, it was heated at high temperature. Here the metallic surface gets heated initially, then the scale is heated, then it is supplied to the water in order to convert the steam. Whatever the metallic surface which was heated earlier, it is in a hot condition due to the overheating of the metallic surface. As you already know the nature of the metals, when the metals are heated at high temperature, they gets expanded. Here also, due to overheating of the metallic surface, inside surface of the boiler, it gets expanded. Due to the expansion of the metallic surface, the cracks are formed on the surface of the water. Through those cracks, when the water is entered, when it gets connected with the hot metallic surface of the water, due to sudden heating, the explosion of the water may takes place. That is called as danger of explosion. This is the second disadvantage of the scale formation. Next disadvantage of the scale formation is it reduces the boiler efficiency. Boiler efficiency gets reduced due to the scale formation. Fourth disadvantage is it increases the cleaning expenses. Cleaning expenses will be more due to the formation of the scale formation. These are the main disadvantages of the scale formation. Next is the causes for sludge formation. As you already know, what is sludge? It is the loose, suspended or the sticky or adherent, non-adherent impurities, non-adherent impurity present in the water. Here the loose aggregation of the impurities of the water which are soluble, these sludge are, which is the precipitate which is formed on the surface of the water, which is soluble in hot condition and not soluble or insoluble in cold condition. Here the main causes for sludge formation are magnesium carbonate, magnesium sulfate, chlorides of magnesium and calcium. These are the main causes for sludge formation. What are the main causes? Causes for sludge formation: the salts which are present in the water are magnesium carbonate, magnesium sulfate, chlorides of calcium and magnesium, which are caused for sludge formation. Here in case of sludge, we can remove the sludge periodically. But in case of scale, we cannot remove the scale. The main disadvantages of the sludge are, in this sludge also, first disadvantage is wastage of the fuel is takes place. Whatever the heat we are supplying, in order to convert the steam, some amount of, here also due to the formation of the sludge, some amount of heat is lost. That's why due to the formation of the sludge also, wastage of the fuel is takes place. Next one is, as I already said earlier, the sludge is soluble in hot condition, insoluble or not soluble in cold condition. Due to the formation of the sludge, the colder parts of the boiler or colder distribution parts of the boiler, they get choked due to the formation of the sludge. This is the second disadvantage of the sludge formation. Third one is, sludge reduces or decreases the boiler efficiency. It automatically decreases the boiler efficiency. This is the third disadvantage of the sludge formation. Here also, in case of sludge formation, due to the formation of the sludge, cleaning expenses will be more. We have to spend more money for cleaning of the sludge in the boiler, feed water or in boiler. This is all about scale and sludge formation, causes, disadvantages of the scale and sludge formation. Here next we shall discuss about the boiler corrosion. As you already know, the body of the boiler is made up of iron metal. When the iron metal, you already come across in the corrosion chapter, is when the metals are in contact with water or oxygen, they get corroded. Whatever the metals, when they are connected or contact with water or oxygen, they get corroded. Here also same thing will happen in boiler corrosion. What is meant by boiler corrosion? The definition of the boiler corrosion is that the decay of boiler material due to the presence of impurities in boiler feed water is called as boiler corrosion. The decay of boiler material due to the presence of impurities in boiler feed water is called as boiler corrosion. The main causes which are present in the water, or main causes for the boiler corrosion, are carbon dioxide, dissolved oxygen and magnesium chloride. The main causes for the boiler corrosion are dissolved gases which are present in the water, such as carbon dioxide, oxygen and also magnesium chloride, which is present in the water, are the main causes for the boiler corrosion. First we shall discuss about the corrosion due to dissolved oxygen. Corrosion due to dissolved oxygen. Here in the dissolved oxygen percentage or concentration present in the water usually in 8 to 9 ppm. When the water enters into the boiler, the dissolved oxygen concentration or content increases. When you heat the boiler, in order to generate the steam at high temperature and pressure, oxygen gets liberated or oxygen gets evolved. Due to the liberation of the oxygen, as you already know, the boiler material is made up of iron. Boiler is usually made up of iron. Due to the liberation of the oxygen, the metallic surface will react with the oxygen present in the water. Then there is an decay or the formation of the rust takes place. Here the reactions are given below, which are: first, when the oxygen, when it reacts with the iron metal, first it will form the respected metal hydroxide. When the oxygen which is liberated, which is in dissolved form, when it liberated, when you heat the water at high temperature, due to the heating, oxygen is liberated. The liberated oxygen will react with the iron metal. Then there is a formation of respective metal hydroxide takes place. The same metal hydroxide, when it reacts with the oxygen, there is a formation of hydrated ferric oxide. That is, we are calling it as rust. This is how the corrosion of the boiler takes place due to the presence of dissolved oxygen in the water. This is all about corrosion due to dissolved oxygen. Have you understood? Here the dissolved oxygen is present in the water. Due to the presence of dissolved oxygen, that oxygen will react with the iron metal, because the body of the boiler is made up of iron metal. When it reacts with the iron metal, first it will form the respective metal hydroxide. That metal hydroxide, again in the next reaction, it will react with the oxygen molecule. It will form the hydrated ferric oxide, that we are calling it as rust. Next one is corrosion due to dissolved carbon dioxide. As you already know, in the dissolved oxygen, the dissolved gases which are present in the water are carbon dioxide. Here the carbon dioxide is also present in the water. Carbon dioxide is also present in the water, and also the carbon dioxide is also liberated in the water due to the heating. Due to the heating of the water at high temperature. When you heat the water at high temperature, the bicarbonates, calcium and magnesium bicarbonates which are present in the water, they gets due to the decomposition, due to the disintegration or the decomposition of the bicarbonates, calcium and magnesium bicarbonate, there is a liberation of carbon dioxide takes place. Okay, carbon dioxide is also present in the water, which is in dissolved form. Again, the carbon dioxide concentration is increases due to heating of water at high temperature in order to convert the steam. If the impurities like calcium and magnesium bicarbonates are present in the water, due to the decomposition of the calcium and magnesium bicarbonates, there is a liberation of carbon dioxide gas. Whatever the carbon dioxide gas which is liberated inside the boiler feed water, here it will react with the water molecule. There is a formation of the carbonic acid. There is a formation of carbonic acid, H2CO3. That carbonic acid will cause for boiler corrosion. As you already know in the corrosion chapter, in the acidic condition, usually the corrosion, the rate of the corrosion increases. Here also, in this, there is a formation of the, due to the formation of the carbonic acid, there is an boiler corrosion, rate of boiler corrosion increases. due to the formation of this carbonic acid. This is all about corrosion due to carbon dioxide. Have you understood? Carbon dioxide, first of all, it is present in the water in the dissolved form. Again, there is a liberation of the carbon dioxide takes place due to decomposition of calcium and magnesium bicarbonate. When the calcium and magnesium bicarbonates are decomposed or disintegrated, then there is a liberation of carbon dioxide. When the carbon dioxide is liberated, again it will react with the water molecule. There is a formation of carbonic acid. That carbonic acid will cause for boiler corrosion, because the corrosion is, the rate of corrosion is fast in case of acid condition. Carbonic acid is also one of the acid. Due to the formation of this acid, the corrosion of the boiler is takes place. Next one is corrosion due to magnesium chloride. Corrosion due to magnesium chloride. Here, due to the presence of the magnesium chloride in the boiler feed water, the pH value of the boiler feed water gets reduced less than, or it decreases less than 8.5. The pH value of the boiler feed water gets decreased or less than 8.5, below 8.5, due to the formation of magnesium hydroxide. When you heat the boiler at high temperature, inside the boiler feed water, if it contain magnesium chloride, due to the heating of the water, there is a formation of magnesium hydroxide. That's why the pH value, the formation of magnesium hydroxide, pH value is decreases less than 8.5 due to the liberation of HCl. Whatever the HCl, here also the same condition is holds and good, because here in this also the liberation of the acid, that is HCl, is takes place. In the presence of acid, the rate of corrosion increases, and when the HCl is liberated, it reacts with the iron metal. There is a formation of the rust, or there is a formation of respective metal hydroxide. Ultimately, it will destroy, or it will decay of the boiler material is takes place. This is all about the corrosion due to magnesium chloride. Okay, this is all about the boiler corrosion or boiler trouble. This is one of the boiler trouble. In the next class, we shall discuss about the next topic, that is analysis of sulfate, and one more is there. We shall discuss in the next class. Thank you.